With more than 550 single-engine piston aircraft, the Civil Air Patrol has one of the largest general aviation fleets in the world. By combining these aircraft with a force of more than 60,000 entirely volunteer members, the Civil Air Patrol routinely demonstrates how general aviation can give back to the community.
Civil Air Patrol is the auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force. We have three basic missions, those being emergency services, cadet programs, and aerospace education.
Colonel Joe Cabot is the commander of the Oklahoma wing of the Civil Air Patrol.
We are a part of the Air Force in that we conduct missions on their behalf, including search and rescue, damage assessment, disaster relief, and other things that they are not able to do cost effectively on their own.
One of the three main missions of the Civil Air Patrol is to provide cadet programs for young people from 12 to 21 years of age. With a basis in aerospace, the cadets also receive training in a wide variety of subjects, from photography to astronomy. Cadets even participate in search and rescue missions, helping to locate aircraft that may have crashed or gone missing. We were fortunate enough to witness a search and rescue training exercise in Oklahoma City, where the Oklahoma Civil Air Patrol were looking for a downed aircraft.
We'll send out 2 ground teams and an airplane on today's search. The aircraft is going to be Cap 3532. I'll be mission pilot on it.
Captain Joe Rathard is a pilot with the Civil Air Patrol in Oklahoma.
The objective today was to look for an emergency locator transmitter that had gone off on an airplane, an airplane that we simulated crashed south of Norman, Oklahoma.
Target is to the south of the field, so we've just taken off. We're headed down south, flying over the University of Oklahoma.
In addition to the aircraft, the Civil Air Patrol will also use ground teams, largely consisting of cadets, during search and rescue missions.
Well, usually the ground team is primarily cadets. We have 1 or 2 senior members that are the ground team leader. The rest of the ground team is made up of cadets, and they have radios to talk to airplanes and mission base. And they also have a handheld emergency locator transmitter so that they can fine-tune. Once we get them in the area with the airplane, they can fine-tune it with their handheld equipment and walk right up to it.
Our mission base, Cap 3532. Yeah, we have picked up the ELT. We're prosecuting it now.
When it comes to search and rescue, most people may immediately associate with the Coast Guard or perhaps the National Guard. However, the Civil Air Patrol handles 85% of all inland search and rescue missions directed by the Air Force Rescue and Coordination Center. A large reason for this is that the small aircraft the Civil Air Patrol use are very cost-effective when compared to large military assets.
In Civil Air Patrol, our primary aircraft are Cessna 172s and 182s. There are other types used across the nation, but that's what the fleet is primarily comprised of. We can operate those for under $150 an hour, which is a lot more cost-effective than the Air Force, Army, or Coast Guard using a Black Hawk helicopter or a C-130, which can cost thousands of dollars an hour just in fuel.
Hey, you see anything down there? See the aircraft, yeah. Up the wingtip.
Joe and his cadet have spotted an aircraft that they believe the ELT signal is coming from. However, to verify that this is indeed the aircraft whose ELT is going off, they need the ground team.
5008 or 5009, Cap 3532. We have, believe we have located the aircraft with the ELT going off. Can you give us your position? We'll guide you to the aircraft.
Cadet Major Riley Mitchum, who's flying with Joe, was able to obtain his private pilot's license with the help of the Civil Air Patrol.
Without the Civil Air Patrol, I don't know if I would have had a chance to get my private pilot's license. Now I can share that experience with other people, take my parents flying, take my friends flying, and just share the experience of flight, which I think is one of the main factors that I got my license for, is just to share my love for flight with everybody else.
One of the really good opportunities we have through our cadet program is the opportunity to get pilot training at a very reduced cost. We have a National Flight Academy that we actually hold in Shawnee, Oklahoma every summer, and there are a number of them across the nation. And for a very reasonable fee, cadets go to this activity. They're guaranteed 10 hours of flight time, and hopefully they will be able to solo by the end of that. Once they've completed this, they can go back to their wings and they can get flight instruction in Civil Air Patrol aircraft with Civil Air Patrol instructors towards a private pilot license for about half the rate of going to a regular flight school.
With Joe and Riley's guidance, the ground team is able to reach the aircraft, confirm it is indeed the aircraft with the ELT going off, and pull a simulated victim from the downed plane. Luckily, in this instance, everything was a simulation. But the constant training and professional development is one of the many reasons pilots like Joe volunteer with the Civil Air Patrol.
I was a crop duster prior to being in Civil Air Patrol. I started working as an engineer, and I didn't fly that much. Civil Air Patrol has given me an opportunity to keep my flying skills up. We have some very professional pilots in the organization that fly for Border Patrol, airlines, the military. So we have very high standards, and it makes me feel good to fly with Civil Air Patrol.